A couple of videos ago, you guys saw me dig these old 55-gallon drums out of the old hog barn, and today I'm going to get them cleaned up and try to use them. So my goal is to be able to grind wheat out of my hammer mill and dump it right into these drums, and I'll put them all on my pallet fork rack to do that, so that when I get all the barrels full, it's easy for me to just hook up to that pallet fork with the tractor and move them around. Before I can do all that though, there's a few upgrades and a few changes that I have to make to these things, and then I think it's gonna work pretty nice. My plan today is, once we get done grinding wheat, is to go back over to the ranch and keep working on the hog barn. I think that I want to at least get started in the process of removing and replacing the bad post that's holding the roof up, but we'll just kind of have to see how far we can get. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. I've got some changes that I need to make to the hammer mill, and I've got some changes that I need to make to the forks. So I think I will wash these barrels out first because they're full of cobwebs and junk and other stuff that we don't want in the feed. So we'll go ahead and clean these out, and then that way they can start drying while I'm doing the other stuff. All right, that looks much better. We're gonna let these dry for a little while we get the other things ready. Typically what I do with the hammer mill is I've got my 4 or 5, I'm not sure how long it is, but it's a spout that hooks on right here and goes straight over and then shoots down into a barrel. And usually what I do with that is I'll rig up some angle iron on the barrel to kind of support that spout. For my new plan, this is not going to work. I need this to be all one contained unit, so I need to make some sort of a stand or a support for that spout so that I can lift the hammer mill and the spout all in one and move them to fill each individual barrel. I've got this old stand here that I made a couple years ago to add some lights on the back of the Jubilee when I was using it to feed. But we're not going to use the Jubilee to feed in the dark, especially anymore, so I really won't need this for that. So I'm going to kind of cut this up and repurpose the metal to make my little support arm. And speaking of the Jubilee, people ask me about it every once in a while. What's going on with it? Where's it at? Well, here she sits. So, oh boy, it's been almost a year now, I think, that I was having some problems with this. It wasn't running correctly, and I tried putting a new distributor on it, which I thought would solve the issue, but I don't know what happened. The distributor didn't seat in there right. Anyway, when I would turn the tractor over, the distributor would not turn. So either I had a gear not engaged properly, or something inside the engine is messed up. So in order to figure out what's going on with that, I'm gonna have to dig into this motor, and I figured as long as I'm doing that, I may as well rebuild the motor. So we're just kind of waiting for that. I want to get the ATV project done and get it out of there, and once that's finished, then I think I'll pull the Jubilee in and start working on it. But I'm getting sidetracked now, so let's get back to what we're supposed to be doing today. little short. I've got this welded together to pretty close to the right length. I've got some spacers here and some hose clamps, so if we need to make some adjustments, we can. But I think this is gonna work, so let's go bolt it on there and see what it looks like. All right, well, this is not exactly the prettiest, but it's solid enough. It's not gonna fall off of there, so I think it's gonna work. I don't know how well it's gonna show on the GoPro, but this pig right here on the end is like twice as big as all the other ones. Yeah, you're the big boy. All right, so I think you can kind of see the method to my madness now. I'll be able to just stand in the bin and shovel wheat into the hammer mill, which will in turn dump it into this barrel. Now, when this one gets full, I'll just pick the hammer mill up with the tractor, back up a little bit, and then it'll fill this one. And then when this one gets full, then I'll just have to scoot the tractor over so that I can get these two on the outside. Well, as tends to happen, yesterday kind of got away from me, but I got all done with the Hammermill upgrades and everything seemed to work good. I'm happy with that. So today I'm down here at the hog barn again, and the goal for today is to start working on replacing this post. Now this is a critical post to this structure. It holds the roof up, as you can see, but I'm hoping that I can, you know, with some jacks and whatever, that I can support the roof, tear the old post out and put a new steel one in its place. I've never really attempted to do something quite like this before, but I think that it's gonna work, and if I'm kind of careful and take my time, I think I'll be successful here. So let's sort of evaluate this and see what we're gonna have to do. Okay, so we've got the light here. Hopefully that's not gonna get in the way. This is the middle of the board. There's not a joint here, so I think that's going to actually make this a little bit easier. But we've got 3 nails going in that way. We've got 3 nails going in here, and then another 3 up here. So 9 nails altogether that are going to need to come out. But before we start doing all that, we need to figure out how we're going to hold this roof up so that when we take the post out, it doesn't fall down. If you missed the last video about this project, then I'll explain that we're replacing that post because you can tell that the roof is sagging right where it's holding it up, and I can also tell that the post itself is rotten. So this hog barn is going to be converted into a bullpen, and right where that rotten sagging post is where the bunk line feeder is going to be, and that needs to be strong because those bulls are going to be pushing on that while they eat. So I've got this old timber here in my junk pile that I fortunately haven't taken down to the burn pile yet, and I think that I'll be able to use this to sort of prop the roof up. The one end is not square, so I'm going to try to cut that and square it up a little bit so that, you know, things sit a little bit better. But yeah, I think this is going to be the foundation to our stand for the roof, I guess we'll call it. That seems to be working, and I don't know if the GoPro's picking it up. I'll move the camera so you can see better. But as I'm jacking that roof up, it's actually pulling that post right out of the ground. This post is lifted out of the ground. You can see it's better than 4 inches. I'd say not quite 5, but a little over 4. And this roof is starting to look a little bit more like what it should look like. I'm kind of wishing that I had another jack right here, because I'm seeing that even though I've got the little piece of channel iron on this 2x6 here, that beyond the jack it still sags. So like from the jack over it looks good, from the jack this way it looks like it's still sagging. So I'm trying to think. I don't think I have another bottle jack like that, which is really what you want for a job like this, but I do have a little scissor jack that might just be able to get the job done. So I think we'll run back up to the house and grab that, and then we'll see what we can do. Digging around in the shop, I found this old Nissan jack, and I have no idea where this came from. The only thing I can figure is I must have taken it out of the little Nissan pickup that I used to have, but I just don't remember doing that. Well, that's pretty well centered, but now I'm thinking, let me see if I have a little piece of metal I can stick in there. I think I found a piece that will work. Although it's a little bigger than I wanted, but that's okay. Bigger is probably better in this case. Right in there somewhere. this looks so much better. The post is completely rotted out on the bottom. It's not even touching the ground anymore. So right now the jacks are holding that roof up all by themselves, and they feel pretty steady. So yeah, I think we can shore this up a little bit and then get this post out. I broke the head of that nail off. It wasn't wanting to go. So I'm concerned, for one, about trying to get that out now, but for two, that the other nails are just gonna do that. So what I did, I got behind here with the crowbar and popped that board off of the post a little bit. So now I'm gonna go in with a metal blade and just try to cut these nails off. And I might have to do that on the other ones as well. When you do that. Okay. 2, 3, boom, bam, there we go. This did not take nearly as long as I thought it would. I thought this was going to be an all-day project, but it actually ended up being not too bad. So that post that we took out was completely gone. It was actually worse than I thought it was. When I got the roof lifted up, I could see that there was nothing underneath the post. So it really wasn't doing that much anyway. I'm kind of curious to cut that thing in half though and see how bad the rot is. I don't think it's supposed to be hollow like that. I think that might be bad. So next step here is to dig a new hole and get some concrete and get that 4x4 metal post set in here. I think I'll probably rig up some angle iron on that post to support these 2x6s here or something. I'm not quite sure how all that is gonna work yet, but I will figure it out. That's gonna have to wait till another video though, because I don't have my concrete yet and I don't have a couple of other things that I need to do that. So until then, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.